The first thing on our rubric says, for 20 points, artist stayed on task with little to no correction from the teacher. So as long as you are following along with me and staying on task, you won't receive any rule number 6s, you won't lose any of your 20 points. The next thing on our rubric says is to make sure that your paper is going up and down. We all have a small piece of paper, and this is what the paper looks like when it's going long ways or sideways, and this is what our paper looks like when it is going up and down. For 10 points, you are to make sure that your paper is going up and down. Next on our rubric, it says to create distant land masses for 15 points. These are some generic kind of distant land masses. In order to get started on creating these distant land masses that'll be disappearing behind our tree, I want for you to just kind of look for the center of your paper and put your finger in the center of the paper. But you want to make sure that it's kind of in the center going this way, and that your finger is in the center going this way. When you find the center of your paper, I'm then going to move my finger. Watch how I move my finger a little bit to the left. I'm now moving my finger a little bit to the left. Now, I'm going to take my pencil and put a dot above my finger. You're going to take your pencil, and I'm going to do this heavy. I want you to do this lightly. The only reason why I'm going to draw these lines heavy is so that they show up on the camera better for you to be able to see them. I'm going to draw out and away from the dot a little bit. Then on the other side, I'm going to draw out and away from the dot a little bit. Then I am going to return to this edge right here, and I'm going to curve slightly down and over and kind of do a little bit of a curve there. We're doing this line here. Your rolling hills do not have to look exactly like mine. Rolling hills come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. Part of the rubric says just to create 3 distant land masses. It does not mean that you have to make your land masses look exactly like mine. Just try your best, lay down a line, and move on. Over here, I'm going to put my pencil where this end is. We're going to create this drop down and slight curve up over here. From right here, I'm going to go over, curve slightly down, bump slightly up, and go off my page. Again, I'm not grading whether or not yours looks exactly like mine. We're now going to create some rolling hills that disappear behind this one and come out the other side. So on this hill, on the corner of it, put a dot. Your dot does not have to be as heavy as mine. We're going to have to end up erasing these dots later. So we have a dot right here. We're going to create this hill right here. From this dot, I'm going to go out, up, and over and off the page. Out, up, and over off the page. Place your finger on the dot that you just made and drag it across to the right side of your tall hill. Go ahead and lay down another dot on the right side of your tall hill. After you lay down your dot, we're going to continue with the line. We'll draw over to the right and bump up and down and off the page. So I'm going from this dot here, out and away. It's not a perfectly straight line, and then I'm going to curve up and kind of bump it over. I'm just trying to keep it interesting. Just keeping it interesting. That's all that I'm doing. So I know that you might think that we're going to now do this curved line right here. We're going to skip that for now. We're going to do this somewhat straight line right here. When I say at the bottom, this is at the bottom. This is a space from the bottom. So look at the bottom of your paper, skip a space from the bottom of your paper, and draw a line. Don't do it with a ruler, just kind of wing it, try to make it straight. It's land, it's not going to be perfectly straight on purpose. Now you can do this next curve however you would like. I don't want you to get uptight about this. I'm going to start at the side, and I'm going to draw this different every kind of way. So even this one looks different from this one. I'm just letting the pencil glide and ever so slowly adding in some curves. I'm not doing like little cloudy curves. I'm mostly dragging my hand across and deviating ever so slightly to make it look more realistic. There you have it. We have our next 15 points. Create distant land masses. Now we're going to move into our next set of 15 points, which is create 3 clouds with at least 1 cloud being cut off the edges of the page. Now in my finished example, I have 2 clouds being cut off by the edge of the page. That's fine. You need to have at least 3. You can put them in whichever way that you want, but at least have 1 of them go off the page. And I don't want you to be uptight. It doesn't tell you how to draw the clouds. Your clouds do not have to look exactly like mine. I don't want you to spend forever erasing and doing the same cloud over and over trying to make it look perfect. I just want you to try to make 3 clouds in any kind of way that you're comfortable with. You do not have to put your clouds in the same spot that I do, but the rubric says you have to have 3, and at least 1 needs to go off of the page. In my little style, I like to make 2 go off the page. There you go. That's another 15 points. One of the last things that we need to do is erase these dots out. Let's use an eraser and do small circles. Small circles also works with erasing. It's not just about colored pencils doing small circles. Let's erase these old dots out. Sometimes erase in the opposite direction to really pull that old pencil up. Then fill in the spots where the dots were. The next is us taking a look at the upload video to receive our final points on the rubric.